Stop being so serious right now, bro.
And then she will have to sit in the back. The blonde replies, I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm going to Toronto and I'm staying right here. The flight attendant goes into the cockpit and tells the pilot and the co-pilot that there's a blonde bimbo sitting in first class that belongs in economy and won't move back to her seat. The co-pilot goes back to the blonde and tries to explain that because she only paid for economy she will have to leave and return to her seat. The blonde replies, I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm going to Toronto and I'm staying right here. The co-pilot tells the pilot that he probably should have the police waiting when they land to arrest this blonde woman. WHO won't listen to reason. The pilot says, you say she is a blonde. I'll handle this. I'm married to a blonde. I speak blonde. He goes back to the blonde and whispers in her ear. She says, oh, I'm sorry. And gets up and goes back to her seat in economy. The flight attendant and co-pilot are amazed and asked him what he said to make her move without any fuss. Toronto. What's the funniest thing you've seen happen? How does getting fired from a company affect a person's career? It depends. Many years ago, I interviewed a guy who looked pretty good on paper. There was just one problem. He had been fired from his previous job and was a bit vague as to why. I asked if I could contact his previous employer and he assented. The next day I called the prior employer and explained to the receptionist that I wanted to find out more about my prospective employee. The receptionist started whispering into the phone. She said that no one was allowed to speak the man's name without risking the wrath of the company owner. She explained further that the man had been the best employee the company had seen in years, but had been caught by the boss having a wrestling match with the boss's wife in the office on a weekend. I hired him immediately. He worked for me for 3 or 4 years and was one of the better mechanical technicians who ever worked for me. He never met my wife. How does getting fired from a company affect a person's career? It depends. Many years ago I interviewed a guy who looked pretty good on paper. There was just one problem. He had been fired from his previous job and was a bit vague as to why. What's something that sucks about being a man? My wife had a 6-month affair. When I found out I left her, a number of people assumed I was the one who cheated on her. That bothered me. I corrected them. Worse were all the people who assumed I must have done something. When is life something that sucks about being a man? My wife had a 6-month affair. When I found out I left her, a number of people assumed I was the one who cheated on her. That bothered me. I corrected them. Worse were all the people who assumed I must have done something wrong to deserve it and that I was still the bad guy. People told me I must have not paid enough attention to her. I must have somehow drove her to it, etc. Some people refused to believe that I somehow didn't do something wrong to cause her to cheat. All I can say is this. I loved her and treated her like a queen. When I've asked her why she did it, the response from her has always been that I was a terrific husband, that she loved me, and that she regrets it. The guy was nearly 20 years younger than her. He in his early 20s, she nearly 40. He was attractive and charming and started flirting with her and she found him irresistible. So, that's a double standard that I've lived through and find unfair. If I had cheated, I would have been labeled a free jerk. When she has an affair, I'm still somehow jerks who is to blame. What's something that sucks about being a man? My wife had a 6-month affair. When I found out I left her, a number of people assumed I was the one who cheated on her. That bothered me. I corrected them. People assumed I must have done something wrong to deserve it and that I was still the bad guy.
I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Uh, uh, uh. Okay.
Something wrong to cause her to cheat. All I can say is this. A lumber had treated her like a queen when is lying the right thing to do. A young German soldier during when is lying the right thing to do. A young German soldier during World War II was ordered to check the house for Jews. After minutes of searching, he declares the house clear. His commanding officer is unconvinced. Schauen Sie in den Dachboden. He orders, check the attic. Die Luke ist offen. Die wurden sich nicht dort verstecken. The young soldier says, the attic door is wide open. Surely they wouldn't hide there. His commander shakes his head. Schauen Sie trotzdem nach. Go check anyway. The soldier climbs the ladder. As he peers into the darkness, he sees at least a dozen Jews hiding in the attic, all women and children. Their terrified faces look back at him. Nobody dares to move. The young soldier turns and shouts to his commander, all is clear. All clear. The soldier closes the trapdoor, leaving the Jews in the dark. He will never see them again. Decades later, one of the young children in the attic will recall the anonymous soldier's kindness. Every single person in the attic survives the war. Many attribute their lives to the young man. Dishonesty is right when it saves innocent lives. When is lying the right thing to do?
What is the biggest plot hole of reality? I had a dream once that lasted 9 months. I watched the seasons change. Just went about my life. Finished the school year. Summer came around. Hung out with friends. Came home every day to crappy family stuff. Totally thought everything was normal and that I was awake, because my dreams are usually wild, until I went to bed one night in late fall, in the dream, and woke up back in real life to February on a school day. I was completely thrown, and it took me like a week to shake the confusion and convince myself that it was just a weird time trick my brain played on me. I still have a few memories from it that I have to stop and remember were from the dream version of that year. Like an inside joke from a trip I never actually went on with
I
friends.
can't revive you, bro.
What is the biggest hole of reality? I had a dream once that lasted 9 months. I watched the seasons change. Just went about my life. Finished the school year. Summer came around. Hung out with friends. Came home every day to crappy family stuff. Totally thought everything was normal and that I was awake, because my dreams are usually wild, until I went to bed one night in late fall, in the dream, and woke up back in real life to February on a school day. I was completely thrown, and it took me like a week to shake the confusion and convince myself that it was just a weird time trick my brain played on me. I still have a few memories from it that I have to stop and remember were from the dream. What's an extremely useful website most people probably don't know about? Where is this.com? For when you have a picture of a place and want to find out where it is, and reverse image. What was the biggest coincidence that made you question the fabric of reality? This guy I went to grade school and high school with, an acquaintance at best. I've seen him in 5 different locations in different countries throughout the last 15 years. Disney World when I was a kid, some beach bar in Thailand, the Bean in Chicago, a pub in Budapest, and a library in San Jose, Costa Rica. We've become friends due to our love of traveling, but neither of us post on social media, and neither of us communicated with each other our plans to travel. We never talked outside of the random meetings. Now if I see him, it's like the world wants us to have a beer together. What was the biggest coincidence that made you question what made the high school legend become a legend? Our legend was actually the gym teacher. He became a legend by getting hit by a bus, getting up, getting on the bus and asking if everyone was okay. He ended up getting fired about 5 years after I graduated because he was caught soaking raisins in vodka and then eating them over the course of the day. Never change, Mr. Leff. What made the high school legend become a legend? The legend was actually the gym teacher. He became a legend by getting hit by a bus, getting up, getting on the bus and asking if everyone was okay. He ended up getting fired about 5 years after I graduated because he was caught soaking raisins. What was completely ruined by idiots. When I was about 12, a coding teacher would host a coding club for anyone interested at a local library. My first few months at the club were actually quite enjoyable. I learned a lot about computers and started to work on a few games of my own. Then one day at school, when me and my friends were talking about the coding club, a few other people overheard our conversation and the word quickly spread. However, it wasn't coding everyone was talking about. It was that you could hang around in the library after closing, which meant that you could basically do whatever you wanted because the computers were in a separate room and there was only one teacher. Not long after someone, who had no intention of coding anything, came to the club, spilled their Red Bull on a couch, misplaced a ton of books and left the microwaves in a disgusting condition. The library then shut down the club. What was completely ruined by idiots? What are the most suspicious coincidences in history? When they shot The Wizard of Oz, the actor who played the wizard, what video or recording is perfectly innocent, but becomes terrifying when you look into the story behind it? My mom and I recently watched one of those 2020th shows, and they were talking about a woman who went out drinking one night, and was never seen again. She had gone back to one guy's apartment, but hotel footage showed her leave shortly after arriving, and the guy in the apartment swore he didn't do anything to her. What is your most terrifying we need to leave now rush of fear you felt? I'm a touring musician. At police officers of Reddit, what was your biggest plot twist in a case? So I used to be a school cop and one of the schools I worked at was right next to an elevated train station. So my coworkers and I show up one morning and right outside the school and next to one of the support columns is a big brown cardboard box. This box is kind of heavy and has wires and tubes and stuff sticking out of it and is next to a school and a mass transit stop, so I'm thinking, there's a non-zero chance that's a bomb. So we call bomb squad to come out, and usually with the kind of stuff the bomb squad takes a look at it, says not a bomb, and we toss it in the trash. This time the bomb squad guys go, yeah, that could totally be a bomb, and so they get the robot thing to come get it and put it in the field behind the school and shoot it with those special shotgun rounds. Thing gets shattered and then bomb squad figures out that it's actually a device that basically measures things about mosquitoes, and we just ruined a huge research project. Police officers of Reddit, what was your biggest plot twist? What is a subtle sign that someone is really intelligent? They can switch up the way they talk to match the person they're talking to without sounding condescending.